I am live, it says. Hello. Gotta make sure everything's straight. How y'all doing? I know Scooter's here. I think you're the only one that's here right now. It's actually saying 0. I don't think my number count is right. But hello, everybody. I hope everybody's staying warm up north. Oh, matter of fact, I don't even need this right now. It hasn't hit us yet. Yet. I know I said come freeze with me, but it's not freezing yet, but it will be tomorrow. And I think it's pretty cold and it's raining a lot. That's what we get instead of snow. So oh my god, we went to Walmart today. That was fun. I was gonna see what it actually is in Austin right now. So I'm like, yep, I'm not going to Austin. It's supposed to rain all day. And no lightning though. What's it like up there with you? I know you're way farther north than I am. It's loading. It takes forever to load. Oh, actually, I think I'm having a hot flash. Like all of a sudden I got really, really warm. Morning. Okay, that's fine. Have fun. I didn't watch any of my Buckeye games this year, and they really did really good too. Yeah, I know. I'm more worried about you. Hey, Aaron. How are you? Yeah, it's not actually freezing for us yet, but we've prepared this time. Even though it's only going to be a couple days. Somebody was joking that lived in like South Carolina. I was watching, and he's a Gen Xer. You guys might have seen him. He does Gen X stuff on the YouTube Shorts. And he says, I'm in South Carolina. And or maybe it was a friend of his that was, I don't know. He went to the store. And he said the bread was gone, some eggs were gone. Oh gosh, yeah. And I was thinking the toilet paper would be gone again, because that's what they freaked out about last time. Toilet paper was fine. I said, but the canned goods wiped out. Thank goodness I was getting dried beans for bean soup. So I was just getting a handful of things like snacks and stuff that we just couldn't wait till Monday for. Other than that, we're kind of like light preppers. I use distilled water in my ice maker, and when I'm done with the jug, we fill it with tap water, and we have under a shelf. We have like 10 or 15 jugs of water for emergencies, and we don't have a lot of backup food. We have some. I have a little thing that's like freeze dried food. It's like 2 people for 3 days. I don't have like a lot, but I have a little. Honey, you're gonna have to go to bed. Go. I don't want to lock you in. I told you go. She wants nothing to do with me till I sit in this chair. I'm on the bed. She doesn't care. I'm walking around. She doesn't care. I sit in this chair, and here she is. Just staring at me like, please pet me, please. Please. Nope. Go to bed. Go on. You're going to knock over stuff. You're too big. Go. Go on. It's warmer in there too. Go. Daisy, I don't have to mute because I'm going to have to be firm. How can I mute? I don't even know how. Okay, I think I'm back now. Yeah, tomorrow, we still can't carpool. We both have to drive to Waco tomorrow because of the dogs. He doesn't want to go with me at 6. I'm going to have to leave at 3:30. They would be alone too long. So he made sure everything was winterized on the house, the faucet outside, some other stuff that he did. He put some weights in the back of my pickup truck so it doesn't fishtail. We do have a set of chains for my truck. And he put the cover on my windshield. We have an ice cover on our windshield, so we don't have to use an ice scraper. We don't even own one. I actually got that for him one year. So he doesn't have anything for his truck, because everything we got was for my truck, because that's what he was driving at the time. but that's okay. He got a moving blanket to put over his windshield. Oh man, I hurt my hand today. For an hour in the mid 40s. Oh, I know. Walk-in freezer in Costco. Yeah. Last time I was in Austin, it was like that. The last time I was at work, I think it was last weekend. One weekend in the last couple weeks, it got down to like feels like 23. And the last hour, I didn't go outside. I said, you know what? They're just gonna have to suck it. I'm not going. I have been doing it all night. I was worn out because hey, Seal Bill, what's up? Thanks, Scooter. We're just talking about because I'm in Texas and people down here don't know how to deal with this stuff. I learned to drive in Ohio weather, so I know how to drive slow. Honestly, Tom and I are usually the only ones that make it to work, and people that literally live in the same city where we work don't make it. And so I used to work in Temple. That's about a 30-minute drive. I would make it. They wouldn't. Now we're in Waco, and last Snowmageddon, not Snowmageddon, was it? Last time it was this bad. Tom made it to work. Nobody else did that lived in Waco because we know how to drive in it, which is you just drive really slow and patient. This dude, it was pouring down rain today, and this guy, I kid you not, this is in town, 3 lanes of traffic. Traffic wasn't backed up, not that bad. But, you shouldn't be doing 60 and when it's pouring down rain. This guy passed us 3 cars on the shoulder doing about 85. And I'm like, yeah, that's the guy that's going to get everybody killed this weekend. I'm like, I don't even know why he went on that side. He could have went, I don't know. I don't know what he was doing. I have no idea. I was just like, though I'm worried about everybody else. I'll be fine. My daughter called. Yeah, I know. It's probably a soldier. Probably. Yeah, because we were coming from Post at the time. We'd had to go to our bank on Post. We were leaving Post right around 5:30. But it wasn't like traffic was backed up. I thought it was the VIP lane. I guess it is. Yes. Well, luckily our shoulders are nice and big. And so it wasn't like he went off in the dirt. So I was just like, geez, though. Dang. Soldiers, man. When I used to work on Post, sometimes Tom and I would carpool because when he was still in the Army. And it was horrible because you literally only had 2 lanes going into the main post. And this is one of the biggest military bases in the world, not just the United States. And Tom would just be like, close your eyes, because he was about to do some crazy crap. And I would literally close my eyes and just, okay, because he knew I would freak out. He'd have to do some crazy stuff to get around. I'm just like, I hated going to Post early in the morning because you had 30,000 soldiers all going to the same place at the same time for PT in the morning. It was ridiculous because what people don't understand about the military is if you're late to formation, hey Eric, if you're late to formation, you can get an Article 15 just for being late to formation in the morning. And an Article 15, I kind of explain this to them. It's like getting arrested. Okay. It's UCMJ action and there's penalties involved. So an Article 15 can be something as small as 30 days extra duty, but it's usually 30 to 45 days extra duty, loss of rank, and loss of pay. You can lose. So Tom got busted 2 weeks after he went from reserves to active duty. And they busted him from E4 to E1. They took 2 months pay and he had 45 days extra duty. And what extra duty is, after your normal work day, you go sign in with usually the battalion and you do manual labor till 10 o'clock at night, mowing lawns, picking up trash, whatever. And you do that for every day, Saturday, Sunday, doesn't matter. Yeah. And so these guys, when they're trying to get to formation, are driving like that because if they're late, they can get an Article 15. Now, before an Article 15, you're supposed to get what they call a counseling, which is a written you counsel them, but you have to write it up, put it in their file. And so hopefully you don't usually get an Article 15 till you've had 2 or 3 counselings. I used to type Tom's counselings up for him because he hated to type when he was a sergeant. And they gave him all the crappy soldiers because they knew he was retiring within a couple years. So they gave him all the ones that were going to court, getting in trouble all the time. And it was so stressful for Tom. He was constantly writing up counseling statements. But sometimes, they'll give you an ARC 15 and it just depends on who it is. It just depends on the sergeant, who's in charge, how many counseling, some might only do it if you've had 3 for the same thing. Some of them will give you an ARC 15 right on the spot, just period, because they won't put up with it. That's the thing about the military is there's no set rules on some of that stuff. So you could have a real hard ass as a first sergeant, or you could have somebody that, will just counsel you a few extra times. So that's why people get a culture shock when they go in the military, because they think it's a 9-to-5 job. No, you get your pay. And that's what another thing, because these privates make like $1,500 a month. Yes, they have room and board. I mean, if you have car payment, insurance, and stuff like that, it goes pretty quickly. But you're getting paid 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. So if they don't want to let you go home at 5 o'clock, you don't go home. And Tom was in what they call a support platoon, was ammo, food. He was a fueler. And so they supported the tank units here. And if there was one tank in the field or doing an exercise or a range, they might have just been out late that day, Tom couldn't come home. He had to stay out there. So where the tankers would get off at 4 o'clock every day if they didn't have anything to do and come home, I never knew when Tom was coming home, because 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night, he might be coming home. So that's why people couldn't understand why I couldn't go to college like in the evenings, because I might as well have been a single parent, because I couldn't rely on him to watch the kids, and I couldn't afford daycare all day and at night too. So that's why college went right out the window. That's what people don't understand about how it really works in the military. And the other thing that, I noticed the civilian world getting very involved in families being separated during the war for deployments. What people don't realize is you're separated a lot during peacetime. It has nothing to do with deployments. Tom had already been gone 3 times for a year before he ever had anything to do with the war. And what it is it's called a hardship tour. So like when you go to Germany, if you go for 3 years, you take your family. If it's only 1 year, you're not allowed to take your family. And usually Korea and Panama at the time was 1 year, and you couldn't take your family. You had to ask permission and go for at least 2 years to take your family. And it's not a deployment. So the difference between a deployment and a hardship tour is what you call a PCS move. You're moving to a new duty station. You leave your unit and this duty station and go to a whole new unit by yourself to a new duty station for that year. Whereas when you're getting deployed to in the war, your whole entire unit is getting deployed together. And so you're going with them, and it's not a new duty station. You're being deployed for whatever reason as a unit. So he's done both. So when he was gone, I had no unit to go to with problems. Now, I did go to I went to his last unit he'd been in. We had some pay problems while he was gone one time. And so none of his family called me during those times or worried about what was going on here. But when he went to Iraq the first time, my phone was ringing off the hook because they wanted his address to send him things. But it takes like a good 3 weeks or so to get to travel, to get there, get set up, know where you're going to be, and actually have an address. So it wasn't unusual for a deployment for it to take to 3-4 weeks before you even had an address for anybody to send anything. So I was, 21 years he was active duty. We were apart for 10 and a half. And that I only count overseas or out of state. That doesn't count the 2 or 3 weeks at a time he would be in the field here, out on the field doing training, and he couldn't, this was before cell phones. He couldn't call. I couldn't talk to him. I still didn't see him for 2 or 3 weeks. And so that happened a lot. Sometimes every other month or every couple months he'd be gone. Or he'd call me up and say, oh, I'm going to be gone for 2 days. I'm being assigned to some training mission that some tanks were in. That was not unusual either. So he kind of got screwed in the MLS he was in, because there's a lot of MLSs where it is kind of 9 to 5, where 4 or 5 o'clock rolls around, you're done, you're gone, and you're home. This is why I wish we would have went in the Navy, that he would have went in the Navy, because even though you're on a ship half of the year, so 6 months of the year you're deployed, but the other 6 months when you're home, you're home. You're working like almost half days when you're not on ship. And you're coming, oh, I keep hitting the desk. Sorry, you guys. Whew, I'm still hot. Ugh. Anyway, that's the military world. So that's why, I was talking to one of the girl that came on where I work after I got stuck in the elevator for an hour. Oh, I would have freaked out. I was like, everybody's like, you're so calm. I'm like, dude, I was an Army wife for 21 years. I'm like, it takes a lot to like stress me out. It's funny, the little things will stress me out, but big stuff, I'm like, there's nothing I can do about that. I guess I'll survive. Man, I am having hot flash. So where's everybody else at? My daughter called me from California. She said she was hoping she'd get some of this cold air. She said she's tired of running her air conditioner. I said, so are we. Literally a few days ago, we were running the AC in the middle of the day. Or yesterday, I was running my AC in my truck on my way to my doctor's appointment because it was hot. I'm like, Texas is weird. I know, right? I'll tell her that. She said she was going to stop in if she has a chance. But yeah. I have another channel that I've had, but I've never done anything on. It was my first channel, Welcome to Fort Cavazos. Well, we're back to being Fort Hood again. And I was going to do Welcome to Fort Hood videos. I was going to film the area. I was going to talk about the area. And I just never got around to it. And like, I thought about doing Army wife things in there, maybe to help some of the newer wives. I bet you there's people doing that already, probably on TikTok and stuff. I've just never seen it. Hey, Mark, how are you? What part of the world are you in again? Because, I'm curious what everybody's dealing with today. Right now, what you're going to hear, if you haven't heard it already, is we're having high winds and rainstorm right now. And it sounds like the freaking porch roof is about to rip off, which technically it is. It needs to be fixed. So it's like flapping. Oh, yes. Yes, Aaron, absolutely, yes. There were times where if something happened on base, if they had an attack or something big happened, they would shut down communications completely until the families could be informed, or if it was an OPSEC thing. So if I didn't hear from him for a week or two, that wasn't unusual, sometimes longer. Now this was recently. Now, way back before cell phones, we were only allowed a 15-minute phone call twice a week when he was overseas. And that was even when he was on a hardship tour. He was in Panama for a year, 95 to 96. And he was in a building where there was a phone. And I called him. We had a $600 phone bill because it was $1 a minute. And we were on the phone for like 6 hours just talking because I hadn't seen him in forever. And oh my gosh, that was back when long distance was really expensive. And then we started with the cell phones with the better long distance. Then when he was in Korea for a year in 2001 to 2002, he would go to because he was PCS to those places. So he was there, he went to work and came home to his barracks or whatever, because it was just a new duty station. It wasn't a deployment where they're busy all the time. And because when you're in wartime, you're busy all the time. He would go to a, what do you call it? What do you call it? A computer cafe, a net cafe, internet cafe. He would go to an internet cafe just off post, and he could talk to me over the computer, or we would just email, text back and forth. So, as the years progressed, yeah, $600. I know. Yeah. So I got one letter that year. I was so mad. So literally this would be our phone call, our 15-minute phone call. Because I'm here with the kids. He would call. Hi, how are you? This happened. The kids did this. We did that. This needs done. I'm having a problem with this. This and this and this and this. And then you have 1 minute. And then we're like, I love you. Bye. I love you. Like, gone. Right in the middle of talking. They do not play. 15 minutes. That's it. And then he had to wait in line when it was like in Iraq, when they were deployed, especially the first time. The second time they had better internet and stuff like that. He would have to wait in line. A great reenactment. That's pretty much the way it was. He would have to wait in line for an hour to 2 hours just for the 15-minute phone call, because it's deployment and everybody wants to go home. When he was at a hardship tour, it wasn't as bad. He didn't have to wait on the phone like that because they could do it at different times. And he's always been in a different time zone. When he was in Korea, it was literally 12 hours difference. So his day, he would call me at 3 o'clock in the morning when I was working. So that was difficult. Same thing. Iraq wasn't quite 12 hours, but it was still off. And what we would do on the last Iraq tour, which was 2006 to 2007, or no, I'm thinking of when he went as a civilian. We would get on like Facebook Messenger and we could video. That was when he did it as a civilian, it was 2010 to 2000 and so he was gone 14 months, 2010 to almost 2012. And that one we were able to actually like video back and forth, and literally we would be doing this on Facebook Messenger, and the mortar attack would go, the alarm would go off, and he'd literally get up and leave and go get in the bunker, and I'm looking at his pillow. I'm still on, and I just wait. About 15 minutes later, he'd be back. And I just listened. I just hope I didn't hear an explosion. It was kind of weird sometimes. The things that we think are kind of normal probably aren't to most people. So at least once or twice per phone call, depending on how long we were on there, he'd have to leave. So but yeah, we've had some interesting weird things happen. Luckily, I kind of knew what I was getting into, being that I'd gone in we were in ROTC together. I'd already been through reserve basic training and stuff. So I kind of knew what, but I can understand the women that can't handle it. 14 below zero. Oh my gosh. Private Ross. Oh my goodness. Woo. I'm surprised your internet's even working. Base life. Oh, lots. Lots. It is not normal. Not normal. I will tell you from a working at the police station point of view. So over here, the last 6 years he was in, I worked at the base police station in crime records. We never lived on base here. We did in California. Here, it was a tier waiting list for base housing, and housing was so scarce when we got here that we had to buy within a year and a half of coming here, even though we didn't want to. So we never moved on post. But I know my daughter lived on post. I knew people that lived on post. I'll tell you this. Everybody's in your business all the time, and they will call the MPs on you for everything. If you're just stupid stuff. What do we got? It's you're minus 14. Oh goodness, you guys are in the same area there. Oh my goodness, I'm like, you guys win. Any GIs that want to get out of the barracks, I will marry them for that TRICARE. You know. Oh my God, I've seen that happen so many times. My daughter did it. My sister did it. Oh my gosh. Oh, geez. That's funny. But let's go back to the base life question first. So these poor MPs, I swear, they will call you if you have a disagreement, or if you're like, if you say, oh, your daughter's shirt looks funny, they will call the MPs on you, and everybody's in everybody else's business. The problem with that is you not only live near each other, you work with each other. So they will call your chain of command if you make them mad. This is one of the reasons I didn't want to live on post again. I didn't like it the first time. So they finally started, after a few years, they started what they called, I can't remember what it's called, but it was kind of an offshoot of the MPs that worked in housing. It was like housing liaison, so that if it wasn't a real crime, they could call the housing liaison if they were having a dispute with a neighbor or a problem with housing or something like that. So I'm glad they started to do that. But some of the stuff I saw in my reports, oh my gosh. We had a binder. We weren't allowed to say anything outside of the MPs, the police. Well, it was police station when I was there. We didn't have a provost marshal. Long story, I'm not going to go into it. Mainly it was because all the MPs were deployed. We had a lot of Department of the Army civilian police officers. So we weren't quite an MP station when I was there. We had a binder of funnies, either a picture or a sworn statement that was hilarious that we would put in the binder and laugh our ass off. So there was a picture. It was just the picture that we laughed our ass. So it's a picture of a toilet with a woman's wig and her cell phone and a plunger in it. And we, without looking at the report, we were just laughing our ass off because we're like, you're not going anywhere. Oh, and our keys, I think. You're not going anywhere, and you're not going to look good, and you're not going to call anybody. It was a domestic dispute. He took her wig and her phone and threw them in the toilet. Oh my gosh. And then there was a sworn statement. There was a fight. And the guys, I know, the sworn statement was literally this: push, push, shove, shove, then it was over. That was the shortest sworn statement I've ever seen. Oh my gosh. It was, and you know what I noticed? A lot of the domestic disputes, they were very young. I always looked at the ages. Yeah, detailed for sure. Yeah. And I did see that a lot. I think the game is over. We won. Oh, good. I thought you meant what we were talking about, but now I get it. You're watching your game. Yay! Who's your team? Basketball is not one I could ever get into, or baseball. I can do football. I can do soccer and hockey. Raptors. Ooh, that's a good name. But base life, it's that. And what people don't realize is that not only that is your command and your unit is in your all of your business. And that's what people don't realize in the military. It's not a job. It is so different. Like they're in your finances, they're in your relationship, they're in everything. They're literally like your first sergeant or your platoon sergeant is like your dad, because they have to worry about everything you do, everything you get into, everything you do wrong. If you don't pay a bill, they can call your chain of command and then garnish your wages. So even that's why if you don't know this, they will give a soldier credit like too easy. Like too easy all the time, everywhere you drive around here. It's like you can finance your wheels, you can finance your tires, you can finance a radio, you can finance this, you can finance that. I know. Yeah. And the people that can't handle people telling them what to do cannot deal with the military, and that's why. So like my husband, there was a couple that, you meet all kinds in the military. Private. Someone on the internet said that Greenland is a lot smaller than it looks like on the map. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know that much. I'll bet Texas is still bigger. No, I did see it. Let me see. Let me ask. How many square miles is it? Oh, shit. I'm still in airplane mode. All right, let me try that again. How many square miles is Greenland? Who's calling me? 7. Okay, it's 836,000 square miles. 836,000. Remember that. How many square miles is Texas? Oh, no, they're bigger. It's 268,000 square miles is Texas, and Greenland is 800, so it's 4 times bigger than Texas. Wow, that's big. That's big. Texas is big. It's 4 times bigger than Texas. It's big. Yeah, it's probably very small compared to the continent, like the countries. Did anything about him ever change, and did you ever have a regret to know him? Well, my husband, the thing is, my husband and I've known him since he was 16. So we went to high school together. I pretty much knew everything there was to know about him. So no, not really. I'm trying to think. There are times that I regret doing the 20 in the Army. When he hit 10 years, I wanted him to get out and go back home, because our kids didn't grow up around family. We didn't get to grow up around family. So we were on our own for everything. If we needed help fixing something or this, we used to listen to the family back home talk about, oh, so-and-so's coming over to help me install cabinets, or somebody came over and helped me work on the car, or they were helping my in-laws, mowing their lawn. And we never had that, because even though we didn't move, we got stuck here for 17 years of his 21 years, which is highly unusual, but not for Fort Hood. It's like the toilet bowl of the Army. You get stuck in Fort Hood, you're here for a while. We would meet people and make friends, but they would move. So even though we're still here, we have no friends, no family, no nothing here still. I'm about to put a sign out and try to hire a couple of young people, one to help Tom with his projects, because our kids moved away too, and my grandkids. So it's just us. And I want to hire somebody to help me inside the house, I need an extra pair of arms with my bad shoulders and stuff. That I regret, because my dad's side of the family was very family oriented. So is his. He's one of 4 kids. His dad was one of 14 kids. But my kids never really got to feel that. They never really got to know what it was like to have a big family or do family get-togethers. I mean, it was literally just us. So we were close as a family when the kids were young. So I do regret, I think, sometimes doing the whole career thing in the military. Yeah, I ignored you when you called. I was talking about you. Was your ears burning? Somebody was asking me, do I regret, the military or, everything. And that's my biggest regret is the kids never really got to know what it was like to have family around all the time. She's starting to, so, but my daughter ended up, like me, very self-sufficient for that reason, which was, I was very highly stressed. I will tell you that. I was a very highly stressed person for a lot of those years, especially when the kids were young, because I was like a single mom with no family or friends around for the most part. So I think my mental health took a large blow. Yeah, I know. But there's the things you need, and then there's the things you should have. So I know that, but because you don't know what you missed because you never were there. I honestly, though, even having a big family, or I grew up the same way, though. My mom's side of the family was never did anything together. So I didn't grow up like that either, really. Yeah, I know. But the Army did a lot of good for us, too. We had a steady paycheck no matter what the economy did. We always knew that if we had trouble, that the military would help us. Even though they screwed us a few times, they were also there to help us. I'll give you a couple examples. A year after we got married, his grandmother passed away. And she lived with them, so she was considered immediate family because they lived in the same house. And we didn't have the money for plane tickets. He was a private. We didn't have any money. AR, Army Emergency Relief, is somewhere you can go if you're having trouble with paying rent or different things. So we went to them, and they gave us the $1,200 for the plane tickets, and you pay it back as a no-interest loan, like $100 a month, which was nice. We were able to go home for the funeral. And then about 5 months in, we get a letter in the mail that said they were given a large grant and paid off a bunch of the AR loans, and our debt was wiped clean. So that was something they helped us with. When Devin was born, the day after we got home, we had to take her back. They didn't know what was wrong with her, and they flew her from Fort Ord to San Francisco to a neonatal unit on a hospital plane. And it was an hour and a half drive one way from where we lived, and ended up Red Cross helped us on that one. They gave us the $700 we needed to pay for hotels for that 8 days she was in there, and food and gas. So that was nice. When Tom was in Bosnia in 99, during Kosovo, my mom was in hospice on her last days, and I just wanted to have more than a 15-minute phone call with him. That was before when we could only have 50. And I called the Red Cross, and I said, hey, can I just get an hour phone call with my husband? I need to talk with him. Next thing I know, I get a call back that he's on a plane. Red Cross put him on a plane to Ohio from Bosnia. Nothing out of us, because it was an immediate family member. And my mom waited till he got there, and she passed away the next morning. So that was something, that they helped us with. That was a big deal. And then, his retirement right now is really nice. Especially when I thought I would still be working after he retired, but I got sick and lost my job. He's got disability, which I don't know if all his ailments is worth that. I wish he wasn't so broke down for his age. What else? I'm trying to think. Oh, our medical. We have a really good, even though we have to go to the Army hospital, which I hate. It's still, when I go to the specialist, whenever we go anywhere, and it's a $30-something copay for the specialist, and I can get the things done that we need done. He says every time we do that, he's like, every time we have to do that and it's covered, he's like, this is why I stayed in the Army for 21 years and went through what we did. Again, still don't know if it was worth it every day, all the time. There was a lot of things we didn't get to do. A lot of things I didn't get to do. Being an Army wife takes up a lot of time. So, but I mean, I still feel like an Army wife. It's funny because one of my sign-ins for something is Army wife for life. Even though he's been retired for 16 years now, and we're still in a military town too, I still feel military. We just do. We were in it so long. We're here. We're still, maybe if we'd moved back home and weren't around the military like we are here, maybe I would feel different. I still feel like an Army family. We probably always will. No, I'm a talker. I'm an open book. You ask me a question, I'll tell you whatever you want to know. But I wanted to be a school teacher, but I never did get. I had a full academic scholarship out of high school, but I didn't have a decent school counselor to explain to me what financial aid was. Nobody talked to me. My junior year, I got an ROTC academic scholarship to a very small college. It would have been a 2.5-hour drive one way commute. And it was a small town. I'm like, there's no way I can find a job to pay for an apartment and go to school. And nobody, not my commander in my ROTC, not my counselor who knew I got the scholarship, sat down and talked to me about this stuff. And nobody in my family had ever gone to college. And so I just let it go because I couldn't figure out how to make it work. And now that I know about financial aid and things, schools will sometimes give you a job on camp. Nobody talked to me about that stuff. So I'm kind of a little bitter about that. But that was 40 years ago. So I guess when you get used to a certain routine lifestyle, that's it, unless you constantly change it. Yeah, that's true. I think about that sometimes. I think that's why I'm into, yeah, they did. Yeah, I was, well, you don't all have to go in. Man, my face is so red. I don't know what's going on. I always wanted to be a teacher too, so I got my wish and taught English in China for 8 years. Oh, wow. I'd actually thought about, I like Japan, and I'd actually thought about trying to do something there years ago. Now I don't think I want to, but yeah, I thought about trying to do something, learn Japanese, but I've decided to try to learn Korean instead. I just have to get on. I haven't started it yet. There's always something. But anyway, I was thinking that I've always been busy. If you ask Devin, not only was I an Army wife, I had a home daycare for 8 years when they were young, so I didn't have to put them in daycare. I was a Girl Scout leader for many years. We were involved in the Boy Scouts. I was very involved in church, always volunteering for stuff. And then I got sick and wasn't able. I was teaching adult Sunday school too when I got sick. And then nothing for a long time because I was sick. And then when the Scientology stuff came up, the anti-Scientology movement came up, and I was able to start going to Austin, it was kind of like I needed that. It got me out of my house. I'd been stuck in this house see, I started doing that 2 years ago, 24. So I've been stuck in my house for 14 years. I got sick in 2010. And it just all worked out that I had the time, the grandkids moved away, and it's really given me a purpose. And it's not, so it's half selfish a little that I'm doing it. Yeah, I found a passion. But it's helped me too. So it's led me out to you guys. I have, I didn't have anybody to talk to for 14 years except Devin, because I had, when I was younger, I had this psycho friend and I just kind of stopped having friends. It wasn't just the military thing. Yeah, I know you probably do. And so you just have your immediate family that's around, kind of like that. And so my back got better. Well, it is kind of, in not in, I don't mean that in a derogatory way. Just, it gives me something too, is what I meant to say. It's not just, it gives me something too. It gives me you guys, it gives me a community, it gives me a passion, something to get me out of my, the depressive house. A tip: get a lesson plan. Can use other people's lesson plans. I actually kind of know how to do that a little. One of the reasons during the time I had a home daycare, I had a lot of school teachers that brought me their kids because I was off post. I wasn't on post. So when you have daycare on post, not really people off post can bring their kids on post. I know I should have been. I had a lesson plan. I went to the teacher store. I don't think I made any money during daycare because I spent it all at the teacher store. I had bulletin boards. I had these cool teaching toys and stuff. And I had a lesson plan. Every hour was blocked out. Learning time, this time. I didn't just plop kids in front of a TV. And so I ended up getting a couple of teachers and their kids and a school bus driver's kids and some other stuff. And so I got to be kind of a teacher for about 8 years. And I liked it. So I got to do that. And then when the kids got old enough, I went and got a real job, stopped doing it. It was stressful too. No, I guess so. That's not the part I'm talking about though. Just the other parts. Man. Jeez. Look at that. I don't know what's going on with me. My blood pressure might be up. I don't have my cuff with me. But I've got to fix that. I've got to fix that. Because you're supposed to be able to have a member chat thing, and I don't know what I did wrong. But I slammed my hand in the refrigerator door earlier, and it's kind of bruised right here. I was putting groceries away. Sheesh. But the only other thing about being on post, like I said, it's for the spouse. I'll be honest, 90% of people probably couldn't handle being a military spouse. It is not as unlike anything you would be used to. Hey, Journey. And we've seen a lot of marriages break up in the military. And honestly, it's just the stress, of being apart. I mean, it's weird to be apart for a year several times. I mean, when he would come, we would get into a routine, me and the kids, and I got, way independent. I didn't have anybody to rely on. And he would come home and get in the middle of our stuff, and I'd get a bit of an attitude sometimes. Be like, look, we've been doing it like this. And now you're here screwing up the routine. And he'd have to work his way back into the family. It was hard. That's kind of stuff was hard. You want him to come home, you miss him, But then they come home and you're like, don't mess up the routine. We would eventually figure it out and get back into things. But it was stressful. I was gonna and back when now, yeah, you didn't realize it, but yeah, because if you remember, we used to joke about when Dad was gone, we could get out of the house a lot faster, and I wouldn't wait to ask him to do things. I would just do it. And then when he would be here, I would ask him to do something. And if he didn't do it, I'd get irritated, or, he wasn't fast enough or whatever. Hey, Cinderella, did you change your name a little? A lot of people who work away from their families for weeks or months at a time. Yeah. Yeah. Same thing. Yeah. And so the first time he was gone was 95 to 96 in Panama. And he was able to come home. You get 2 weeks to come home. But it didn't happen till the 8th month instead of in the middle. And I was so glad he was home. But the other side was I had finally gotten into being used to him being gone. I was in the routine. I was used to it. He comes home, and then I have to start from scratch and start all over again, getting back into the mode of being alone again. So the next time he was gone for more than 12 months was when he went to Korea for a year in 2001. See, he did Bosnia, but that was like 8 months. And he did Kuwait. That was like 8 months. They wanted him to have a plane ticket. What it was because it was after 9/11, I think. Because 9/11 happened when he was in Korea. They said that he had to have a return plane ticket to prove he could make it back. Because you can take the military flights, but you can't rely on military flights to be on time. Well, a return plane ticket was $1,800 in 2001. That was more than a month's pay. So we talked about it. I'm like, we can't do it. So he did not come home at all that year. I said, and it kind of had, I always look at both sides of everything, pros and cons. The pro of that was I didn't have to go through him coming home. Yeah, I'm glad to see him, but now I have to start all over again. But I also almost forgot what he looked like. Not joking. Other than, pictures. I literally, after 12 months, almost forgot what he looked like. He tried to buy one of those computer cameras, webcam, but this was 2001, 2002. And he said it was the last month or so he was there. And he put it on the computer, and I literally would get one picture every 3 to 5 seconds. And Scooter's seen me do this before. I would get a picture like this. After the first time, I said, turn it off. Do not ever use that again. Oh my gosh. I was like, that, no. Then the 2020 pandemic, yeah. Well, he retired in 2010. So he was by 2020. Oh, he was working. He's been working security since he got out. He was actually working the worst motel in North Austin. He had to wear a bulletproof vest there. It was so bad. They right after that, they turned the Motel 6s over to house homeless COVID people. And they didn't want security. They used police officers. So about that same time, the contract in Waco opened up. And so he started going to Waco. And because he was security, because some people wasn't allowed to go to work. But because he was security, he was an essential person. Thank goodness. Gosh, we couldn't handle that. But he got the better contract where he's been since then. So much nicer than where he used to work. But yeah. Yeah, so I work Saturday and Sunday night, and I'm expected to go outside every hour and walk around the whole block and do my patrol. And I think I'm going to have to tell them to suck it, because and I've been out when it was in the 20s, because I get, you know what tires me and wears me out all night after 12 hours? Putting the coat on, putting the gloves on, putting the earmuffs on, putting my hood up, going outside, coming back, taking it all off. That's what wears me out. So last week, like I said, the last hour, it had gotten the cold. I said, you know what? I'm tired and it's cold. I'm tired of being cold. I'm not going out the last time. I said, we have cameras. I can see the whole block. I'm hoping when I get there, they're going to have enough foresight to tell us we don't have to go outside. Because not only is it going to be cold, it's going to be icy. And they don't need us falling on our butt. So if they don't tell us, I'm going to tell them. I'm going to be like, if it's icy or anything, I'm like, look, we've got 28 cameras crisscrossing this block. I can see everything. So they might have to suck it this weekend. But it's going to be hard on me, though, because I have to keep moving. I can't stand to sit. I'll just be doing extra patrols inside, I guess. But Tom, he drives a patrol car all night. And he's probably going to stay back, too, because he doesn't need to be out on the streets. Because all he needs to do is wreck that patrol car. He's already dinged it a couple times and got in trouble. One time wasn't his fault, though. It was the gate sensor wasn't working right, and it closed on the car. Yeah. Yeah, and when he retired in 2010, Devin, who's in here, she was still in high school. Our son was already in the Navy by then. So we stayed. We didn't go back home then because she was still in high school. We had our house. So we stayed. But I can't handle the heat here anymore. I need to leave. I need to go up north. I can't do summers here anymore. I'm trying so hard to get him to fully retire and us go full-time RV. I'm trying so hard. I know he doesn't really want to. But he's getting too old to work. He's getting too broken. You know what they said? So he was 41 when he retired, I think. Because we both enlisted really young. And they said that a doctor told him that a person that in the military, their body is 20 years older than their actual age. So his body was like 61 when he retired. Do you have iCloud recording or chips to record? Because my camera needs iCloud account to record. No, I don't even know what that is. I'm just using the laptop camera. I tried using my phone connected to the camera, but I'm not tech savvy enough to figure that out. I couldn't get it to work right. So I don't do this very often. So I'm not using an extra mic or an extra camera. So, but I have a newer computer now, so it's a little bit better. So, and then when I go out and I'm in Austin live streaming, I just use a phone, and that's it. So I have thought about getting a better mic because I'm about to start. I haven't got around to it yet because I just have other things I have to worry about. I have a second channel I want to start that has nothing to do with Scientology. That's fun, different stuff that I want to start. And so I'll be live streaming more often. I've thought about getting a better mic and things like that and figure out how to hook the camera because I might do some crafts, and I've seen people put the camera on the craft and I can still have like maybe this camera on me. So, but that's stuff down the road. I was 55 when I started live streaming. It's been a learning curve for me. I've never been tech savvy. I mean, but I graduated in 87 and they had just my senior year started computer classes. I could have taken them. And I said, oh, no, I'm never going to need that. That's a regret. The Temu camera for 12. Really? Oh, okay. I bought some things on Temu. I've been pleasantly surprised, although I will not buy anything food or anything that you put food in from there, because China does some weird stuff. I've watched too many things on China Fix Everything. You live there. You might know more about that. Could you tell us what it was like skydiving? Oh, you would ever do again? Yes, I would. Definitely. I would totally do it again. It was so much fun. But I will say this, and another guy actually said this, and I kind of agree. I didn't go tandem. What I did was called accelerated free fall. So I took 5 hours of class. And so I went out on my own, and I had 2 instructors with me. And I paid extra for the cameraman. So there's 4 of us that jumped out at the same time. But I did everything. I checked in, checked out. I did the altimeter. I think that's what it's called. I pulled my chute. And then once I pulled my chute, they went off on their own. And then I had a guy in my ear telling me which way to pull, which I was mad about because he made me spin a couple times and I got sick. I can't spin. And I didn't think about taking Dramamine, which was stupid. What this guy said, and I do agree to a point on this, he wishes he would have done tandem because we were so busy worrying about everything. We didn't get to enjoy it as much as, say, if we'd have gone tandem and let somebody else do all the work. So you got to take that into consideration. It was so much fun. And people think, oh, I would never do that. Technically, I had 6 parachutes attached to me doing it the way I did. I had my 2, your initial and your backup, and I had the 2 instructors. So I felt more safe doing that than I would ever feel bungee jumping. I would never bungee jump. And I'm still afraid of heights too. Like if I'm in a 17th floor building looking down, I can't do it. But when you're jumping out of an airplane at 15,000 feet, it doesn't look real. So it's a little bit easier. So you got to take those things into consideration when you go, if you want to go do it. If you don't want to do all the work and you want to just enjoy yourself and be able to look, do tandem. Let the instructor do it. Oh, good. Yeah. If I were to do it again, I think I would do a tandem just so I could enjoy it. But it was still fun. Like I got to be under the canopy by myself, controlling it and landing on my own and stuff. It was cold too because we had to do it early because Tom was deploying somewhere. And so my 30th birthday is in March, but we actually did it in February. Even here, that can be cold sometimes. I remember my ears being super cold. The wind just making my ears really cold. I've got to get that. It's been so long ago that it was on VHS tape. I still have it, but I need to send it off to one of those places to put it on DVD. If I do that, I'll post it on the channel. I just need to go dig it out of the closet. I have a bunch of other stuff I need to put on DVD off of a VHS. I'm a procrastinator. If you guys know me, I'm just like that. Man, my face is still so red. Oh, goodness. Yeah. We were supposed to jump out at 13,000 feet. They changed the kind of plane we were on, which I didn't like. They changed the kind of plane we trained on, and then we jumped at 15,000 feet instead of 13, which I don't know if that was a big deal. It gave me more time. So I guess that was a plus. But yeah, I liked it. The thing that, I don't know if this happened to you, Mark, but they warned me about the adrenaline crash. I look like the Michelin Man. So the way it works, if you're skinny, they put you in a loose suit to catch more wind. But if you're large, they put you in a skin tight suit so you don't have as much drag because you're bigger. So I'm in this tight one-piece suit and I look like the Michelin Man. I was bigger than I am now. Oh, it was funny. But what was I was saying something. Oh, the adrenaline crash. So they did warn me about that a little bit. So I got done. I was so weak when I got to the truck, I couldn't open the door. And when I landed, my instructor landed right near me. And I go, oh, that was a trip. I go, oh, I'm going to be sick. I didn't get sick. He goes, you didn't take Dramamine? I'm like, y'all didn't tell me to. And I didn't think to, because I've gotten motion sickness my whole life. I never think to take the Dramamine. That was a mistake. Well, I made it all the way home. It was about an hour drive, 45 minutes. And I made it all the way home before I got sick. And then I passed out for 4 hours from the adrenaline crash. I was exhausted. And it's not a lot of work. It's just from the adrenaline. So you got to be prepared for that too. Which I'm glad they, having the 5 hours of class, they went over all of that stuff. And I got me a logbook, and I thought about it. They said 7 more jumps, different levels. I could have started jumping on my own. It was expensive, though. The kids were still young then, and it was too expensive to keep doing. But I think it's worth doing once in your life. It really is. It's an experience. It's worth doing. Either way. Either one. Either tandem or the other. Like I said, if you're not planning on wanting to jump more, I would do the tandem. Yeah, the footage. The only sad part is he didn't get my landing. He ended up landing way farther away than where I was. But he got me in the air. So that was pretty cool. I haven't seen it in ages. So I'll have to go pull it out. Gosh. Whew. It's not even hot in here. Yeah, you guys probably don't hear anything. Normally you guys hear some sort of noise. Either the AC's running, the heater's running, the fan's running. It's perfectly nice right now. Oh, this feels good. Oh, I think my blood pressure is up a little. Oh, that feels good. And I'm talking a lot. That can sometimes do it. Oh. I don't want to talk about it. It was so complicated. You know what, Eric? I'm afraid of heights too. But it's just very different. But I can understand. Because when you're up that high and you're looking down, it doesn't look real. It looks, if you've ever looked at satellite on the maps, that's what it looks like. It looks fake. Okay. Yeah, that's probably what it is. I'm just talking a lot. Whew. Especially it's only my face. The rest of me feels fine. Yeah, I'm in. So, BTS tickets. Wow. That stuff is so. I watched a couple videos, and what it is if you have a membership, a BTS membership on their app called Weverse, they had pre-sales the last couple days. And honestly, the tickets are gone during pre-sale. And you have to pre-register with the right membership. I got Tom a membership so both of us could try. Then you're only allowed to pick 3 cities and that you can go in. And I've heard people talk about it. You go into a waiting room, you get assigned a number. When your number comes up, you get to pick your tickets, your seats. And it's through Weverse, but it also has to do with Ticketmaster. Then I find out today. So I went and I withdrew my savings that my life insurance accrues for tickets a couple days ago. It took a while it didn't go in the bank in time. But even so, I was still so confused on how it was supposed to work. I honestly didn't even try. I found out your email in your Weverse membership had to be the same email that was your Ticketmaster account. You had to, I mean, you literally had to take the whole day off to do this. People talked about how they did it before, and I'm like, you know what? The one I want to see is in August in Arlington, Texas. I think what I'm just going to do is take that savings, put it on my credit card, and every day I'm going to go into Ticketmaster, and there are going to be people that either bought them to resell or their life changed and they have to resell them on Ticketmaster, and I'm just going to have to pay some scalper prices to get my tickets. So I picked Vegas, Arlington, Texas, and Tampa, Florida for the 3 places I was going to try to get tickets to. And they're supposed to be announcing more dates in 2027. So they're going to be touring for a year. And so I'm still going to try for probably those 3 cities. And I'm just every day, I'm going to go in. I don't want to have upfront tickets. I definitely don't want floor tickets. I'm 5'2". I can't do it. But I would like to not be in nosebleeds like I've been the last 2 concerts. This is my Jen t-shirt. Did you guys haven't even got to see, I held it up one time, but I didn't get a official shirt at J-Hope, but I got one at Jen, which I think has the oh yeah, it's got the concerts on there. But so I actually got a concert t-shirt. Worldwide Handsome, that's his nickname. I went into this not expecting to get tickets. That's the way I've always been. I expect the worst so that I'm not disappointed. So I'm just going to keep looking every day. And I don't care if I have to travel somewhere. A lot of people are doing that because they're not coming to every state. So it was easy to go to Tampa. It was really easy to fly in there and stuff. So I picked Tampa. I've been to Vegas before. And then I picked they're only going to be in Arlington and El Paso. El Paso might as well be another state. And I might as well go to Tampa or Vegas. In Vegas, they're going to be there 3 different days. Some places are only going to be 1 day. Some places are going to be 2 days. So, and then they're going to have more dates in 2027. So this is going to be huge. So I'm going to keep looking and see if something pops up between now and August or whenever, and I'll snatch them up. So we'll see. I knew a long time ago that it was going to be hard to get tickets. So I'm not going to be crushed too much. Of tight spaces, no cave diving or smoking. Oh gosh, Aaron, me neither. Me neither. Whoa. Now I can handle some small spaces, but I was watching these people go spelunking and crawling through this, and just the thought of all the tons of rock above me would freak me out. And cave diving, no. That kind, no. No. Nope. Not for me. Hold on, I gotta blow my nose. Tom's still sick. He's been sick for like 3 or 4 weeks. I've had this going on for a month. It's ridiculous. This constant up and down. I mean, one day we're using the air conditioner and the next day we're freezing. It's ridiculous. This is the warmest winter we've ever had. I have no problem with small spaces. I'm not claustrophobic. That's good. You know what made me really claustrophobic was the gas masks in the army. I don't know what they're like now, but this was the 80s. And luckily I got out of wearing mine. And we had to sit all day wearing it, and what they call MOP 4. It's the whole hazmat, weird, thick suit and the big gloves and the gas mask. And I had to type. It was part of my job in communications. So in class, we had to sit there in it. Thank God they didn't have a mask that fit my head. They didn't have a small one. So it wouldn't seal. The bigger one wouldn't seal. So they said, well, just don't wear it. I was like, thank God. Those things make me claustrophobic. I do not like those at all. And then in basic training, we got a gas attack when we were doing our ruck march. Me and these two girls cheated though. So we're on either side of the road. They threw the gas. We rolled. So to the side of us was this hill down into the trees, real deep. We rolled down the hill and never put our gas mask on. We got chewed out for that though. The first sergeant came by and he was like, or the drill sergeant came by. He was like, I was like, oh, well. So I never had to put it on because that makes me claustrophobic. we got in trouble. I was like, oh, well, we rolled out of the gas. We're fine. Man, I could use the gas chamber right about now because it makes all the mucus in your body just come out. I could use a clean out. Oh, gosh. Yeah, that I remember. I've been watching this guy named Angry Cops. Oh, my God, he's so funny. He's a drill sergeant in the reserves. So he's a cop in Buffalo, and he's in the military still. And so he has this angry drill sergeant that comes out. And he was just talking about trainees in the gas chamber. Because they have to, when you go in the gas chamber, you go in with your mask on. I did wear my mask for that. But when you get in there, they make you take it off. And you have to recite something in the gas chamber while it's burning the crap out of your face. And when you come out, literally, this is what he said. I'd love to see the snot going from their face to the ground. It will literally go from your face all the way to the ground. And it's gross. It's gross. It's weird and gross. And the first thing I did, I thought I was going to be all hoo-ah, was I went to try to grab my face and he smacked my hand out of the way. I tried to grab my face. You're not supposed to touch your face. It's kind of like being pepper sprayed, but all over. It's not as, I don't think it's quite as stingy as the pepper spray. But it gets, they won't let you leave the gas chamber until you've breathed it in. So if you try to hold your breath, it won't do you any good. But that was so many years ago, I don't even remember. I just remember little bits and pieces, like me trying to grab my face. I had this drill sergeant. Oh, it was delightful. Oh, you lose all modesty and I don't know what the word is I want when you're in basic training. Trust me. I mean, we had 57 girls had to shower in 15 minutes. That was an assembly line. That was interesting. So you just, no, it's gone. I did basic training in the summer, and the one thing that I hated that they did to us, girls, it's a little bit harder for girls. I was very upset about this. We went out to PT, but they had us bring our uniforms and our boots. Couldn't understand why. They made us do PT, get all hot and sweaty, roll, and Fort Jackson, South Carolina is all sand. Roll around in the sand, and then we put our uniform and boots on for the rest of the day. All sweaty and covered in sand. I was not happy. It was like sandpaper all day. I think that was probably one of the worst things. I liked basic training, actually. Yeah, that and for girls, I really don't think they should have done that to girls. It can cause other issues. And I think it did for a couple. The other one was we had to low crawl through explosions and stuff. I forget what they called it, but it was like live fire and explosions and you're low crawling through the sand. And this girl in front of me was kicking sand into my face the whole time. I was like, I was inhaling sand the whole time. So it was the sand was the only thing that made me mad. And we were marching down the road, and the sand was so soft that it was like you had lead boots. Your boots were just sinking down into the sand, and you're trying to march. And the sand, I hated the sand. And by the way, I have this theory that no matter where the military post is, or at least the army post, they truck sand in. Why I think this? I was at Fort McCoy, Wisconsin. Wisconsin, dark dirt, crops and everything. I get to Fort McCoy, sand. How do you have sand in Wisconsin? Just everywhere. How do you have sand in the middle of Wisconsin? They trucked that shit in. I'm telling you they did. Because every military post I've ever been at has sand. Except Fort Hood. Oh, no, Fort Hood just has gravel. So instead of sand, they have gravel here. So I wanted to go active duty, but Tom went active duty and we couldn't both do it. I wanted to be a drill sergeant after basic training. I liked it that much. The sleep deprivation was the only thing that really bothered me. The rest of it I could deal with. Somebody yelling at me did not bother me at all. The saying is, you're really into beach destinations. I wouldn't say I was into it. I just happened to be there. Yeah. And Tom was we were talking about this the other day, because Fort Ord, we're literally the base, the freeway, the beach. The ranges where they shot and stuff was the beach. So they were shooting over the ocean. The ocean was behind their ranges. But they would run to the beach and then run up and down the beach. And the guy weighed 117 pounds when he went in. And he's trying to run through the sand. He hated that. Hated it. It was so hard. They had to run in it. I never had to run in it like that. I just had to march. But yeah, I think the military is good for anybody. Not necessarily as a career, but I think it wouldn't hurt anybody to go in for a 4-year stint. It teaches you a lot of self-discipline. Teaches you what you can accomplish. But I would do it before you get married. If you can. But technically we did, but then he did 2 years reserves, and then he transferred to active duty, and then we got married right after that, because we kept putting off getting married because we was poor. Couldn't afford it. So because he was only working, minimum wage jobs and stuff out of high school. And so that's why he made the Army a career. He didn't really have any other real options at that point. So for us, I think, I was complaining about it earlier, but I don't know. I think we were just one of the few that could handle it. Oh, jeez. And then he's used his GI Bill. He got a couple of certifications before he did regular college. He did 1.5 years of regular college and then realized he didn't want to keep doing it. He was in security by then and he liked it. Matter of fact, he's got a buddy who was a professor. And he's in security now with him because he makes more money. He could go be a professor out of college. So he wanted to go into addiction counseling. And then he realized after about 1.5 years he was also doing security on weekends while he was going to college after he retired. So 2013, he realized he didn't like people anymore. Working the clubs with the drunk people and stuff, he was like, I hate people. I don't think I can do this anymore. And he quit. I said, well, at least you know what you can and can't do. I was like, okay. And then my son, this is the third school he's done with the GI Bill that he hasn't gone into a career with. So I don't know what he's going to do. The first two, he took the school and then didn't. Well, the first school, I can see what happened. It was HVAC. The problem is we're in a very small area here. And there's established HVAC companies here that have, been around for a while. And it's really hard to get your foot in the door. And the only other option he had was commuting to Austin, which for me is an hour and a half in the evening. But for the morning, if I had to go to the doctor in Austin, I gave myself 3 hours to get there for the commute. Working because college professor requires more homework reading. Oh, yeah, there's that too. Yeah, his hours are better too. Yeah. I told you I knew a couple of school teachers in my daycare, but then when I was a Girl Scout leader, one of my co-leaders was a school teacher and my other co-leader was a I don't think she was a professor. Are they all professors if they're teaching in college? She was teaching college. So I know what they had to go through. I know it sucks. I've seen my grandbaby who just turned 3 once. And the other two practically live with me because I was her babysitter when they were younger. So we're trying to figure out how to go out there in March during spring break. Did you send me the dates yet? Because I want to see if we can get a plane ticket cheap. Because if you get it a month or two out, I got my ticket to Tampa round trip was $126 because I got it way in advance. I was amazed. On Southwest, by the way, y'all. I found out because I did Frontier a couple times. And I was only allowed a personal bag, and that was it. Southwest isn't on Expedia or any of the sites. They have their own website. And when I went to Southwest, I was getting the same price. And your first trip, you're allowed checked bags, which I didn't even need. And this last trip, I was allowed a personal and a carry-on. And all I needed was the carry-on for all my stuff. And it was as cheap or cheaper than Spirit or Frontier. I think I heard Frontier's going bankrupt or something. So I would, if you can take Southwest, I know it doesn't go everywhere because it's called Southwest. For the most part, I'm able to take Southwest most of the places I need to go. So I got such a good deal that I spent the extra money on like the protection. So if I had to change it or cancel, I could. So if we can get it, and I got nonstop. Oh, really? Oh, you're back now. And I was looking at initially bringing the grandkids here during the summer, but it didn't work out. And where she's at, the airport she's at, I can get nonstop flights to if I do it right. I don't have to do any layovers. So that's what we're trying to get. Tom hasn't taken vacation time the whole 5 years that he's worked at this place. He's cashed out a couple times. So it's going to be weird to actually take a trip somewhere. But I want to try. Did you send me those dates, Devin? Because I'd like to try. Since I didn't get BTS tickets, I guess I'll use it for that. Or partly for that. Adam, I read that and didn't see your name. As soon as I read, I'm like, that sounds like Adam. I was right for that split second. So I got this license plate for my wagon. It says Wagon of Justice, and I was able to do a line. It looks like a license plate. You're allowed to do a line at the top and a line at the bottom. The line at the top says End Scientology, and the line at the bottom has my channel name at Miss Kim SP. And it's hot pink with black letters. So I'm waiting for it. It's going to take a little while to get here because it's personalized. So my Wagon of Justice license plate is coming. I finally got it. So I was trying to decide on the color. Should I match the wagon? I could have done red, I guess. But I like the hot pink. You'll need a pic. Oh, I definitely will. Definitely will. And I want to get some smaller signs made and laminated to put on each side. So when I'm doing my walk, people know what I'm there for. Maybe they'll stop and talk to me. Some do. I thought about wanting to go down there and walk around and not take all my crap, but I need a good sign that I can wear. That's the Wagon's Superman S. Yep, for sure. Yep. Oh, I'm really awake. Oh gosh. Well, it is raining so bad out there. We're gonna have so much ice. Packing tape to laminate my signs. That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad. I have a lot of packing tape because I buy the big. That's a good idea. It's a really good idea. I never even thought of that. Okay. Thanks for the idea. Actually, my license plate is this color, I think, with the black letters, just like this. I didn't even notice. Purple's my favorite color, but I wasn't feeling the purple. I thought the hot pink would show a lot better. We'll get people talking. Yes. Yep. Yeah. That's why I like even though people get it wrong sometimes, where my sign that says Scientology is called Ask Me Why, people will be like, are you pro Scientology? And I, just to be facetious, I'll be like, well, most cults don't call themselves a cult, but nickname the protester that works as Wendy's manager. Oh, I don't know who that is. Do you know who that is, Scooter? I don't know that person. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know who that is either. I sometimes don't pay attention to some of the personal, I know their channel, but I might not know their personal stuff, like where they work and stuff. So I'm so out of the loop about some things. We have so many channels, it's so hard to keep track of. She's the one. There's a few people like that. Please join our cult. I should so do that one night. It's hard for me to be too facetious though. I want to educate them. I don't want to turn them off. Please join our cult. Oh gosh. Yep. Your sign's on your scooter. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I have thought of. I have had, and when I was trying to really get my craft business off the ground, I had my craft business on a magnet on the side of my vehicle, but ended up she's in Austin too. Well, the only person that was loud moved from Austin. She left Austin. Yeah. So if you're thinking of Pearl, because I don't think anybody else, the rest of us are kind of chill. Okay, no, she moved to Portland last I heard. She got a job because and moved to Portland, and Oliver went there too. So, and I haven't heard anything since she moved. Too drunk for irony and sarcasm. Yeah, there's that, Adam. Yeah, there is that. I don't want to mess with him too much. Sorry about that. I keep hitting the desk. What it is, I have the keyboard tray under here, and my knees keep hitting the keyboard tray because it's lower than the desk. Gotta quit doing that. So, yeah, the rest of us that are left is me, Hitzel, PTS. Oh hell no's still here, but she doesn't protest anymore. I think that's it. Is that all of us? Magical Austin Powers. I don't know. What's the word? I'm very accepting. I don't know. As long as they're not being rude or vulgar, just being inebriated doesn't bother me. Yeah, I think that's all of us. And PTS, she doesn't live in Austin. She actually drives farther than I do to get to Austin. I think she drives a couple good hours to get there. Eric? Which Eric? Eric. You have to be more specific. Oh, Eric Rader. Yeah, he's in Vegas. He was in LA, then he moved to Vegas because him and Pup Groomer are the ones. Pup Groomer went to the strip first in Vegas because she lives in Nevada, right? Why was I thinking Utah? I don't know. When she went to the strip, and then Eric Rader was doing it, it gave me the idea to go to 6th Street because I was like, I can't get to the org during the day. What can I do? And so I started going to 6th Street, Nevada. Okay. I don't know. My brain's not working. It's late. Actually, it's not late for me. This is kind of like my midday. Oh, hang on just a second. Some of you may not have saw this. So I bought this last time I was in Austin. Oh, hang on. Oh, I've been sitting in that chair too long. Oh, I gotta get a cushion for this chair. Hold on, I have to turn it on. There we go. Finally got me a cowboy hat. And it lights up. You can do that, or just on. I didn't even know it changed. I was like, oh, I have to get. He said it was $20. I was like, I gotta have that. So, oh no, it got stuck. No, don't get stuck. No. Oh my gosh. No. Okay. Well, it's gone now. There's a piece of lace on my TV stand, and I laid it on top, and it literally was like a freaking Velcro. Like 5 different strands got stuck in the lace. Oh, I cannot get that out. Oh well. Yeah, till the batteries are dead. Oh. Nope. It looks, unless this little box, it would have to be a watch battery. There's a little white box in there that might take a watch battery. But the way he made it, I could buy new lights. Because there's a piece of cardboard behind the lights, like a sticky piece. And then there's this little box with the button on it. So if it doesn't take a watch battery. And the lights isn't that important to me. So when they die, they die. No big deal. But the book Dianetics. Oh, wow. Yeah, so did we. So my first year on my channel, we read Dianetics over the year on Sundays. That was an eye-opener. It really was. And luckily we had an ex-member or two pop in and really like help us out with some of the stuff. Does living on the night shift affect your vitamin D? Yes. No, it does. A matter of fact, it didn't even dawn on me right at first, but I do take extra vitamin D now. But I was already having that trouble because I wasn't going outside enough. And then my husband's been working nights for, gosh dang, 14 years, 15 years. And I didn't even think about it with him either. So we take vitamin D now. I make him take supplements. He doesn't like to. The amount of supplements I take is ridiculous. Because of my fibromyalgia and my gastric bypass, I have to take all kinds of weird stuff. B12 is a big issue with gastric bypass. So I've always taken B12. I take a lot of supplements for the fibromyalgia with nerves and things like that. Yeah, I take the D3. Yeah, I do. I think I take calcium with D3. And there's a little bit of D3 in my multivitamin too. So, yeah, I didn't even realize that I may have been having a vitamin D deficiency for a good long time. Because even before I started working, I was kind of on the same, because Tom's been working nights this whole time. So I was kind of on his schedule. Like if I wanted to spend time with him on his weekend, I had to be up late. So, yeah. I'm not good at that. I am kind of bad about doing that when I take it. Because I take so many supplements at one time, I literally get full. I'll show you. So this is my box. I sat it here because I didn't know how long I was going to be on. So let's see. B12. So I put them in baggies like this so they fit in here. I just started these. These are superfood greens and probiotic. They're force factor something. I've seen commercials for those. I take magnesium to help me sleep. And melatonin. It's not in here. Let's see. D-mannose for my bladder. I actually put a review on this recently because I went from, when you're older female, you have bladder issues, like when you laugh too hard or sneeze. So if I stay on this D-mannose, I have to take 3 of these every day. I don't have that problem. So that works. Glucosamine gummies. They help with my joints a lot. Right now I'm taking the cranberry. I'm having some issues. I started taking collagen supplements a few months ago because of the walking that I do at work. My knees have been killing me. Not sure if they're helping or not. It's still out. Lysine I'm not taking. I bought this for Tom because he has a problem with shingles. And lysine is supposed to help with shingles. It's good for the nerves. Omega-3s. Let's see. And then this is my calcium and D3. They're huge. They're freaking huge. Let's see. What else do I take? CoQ10. Tom doesn't take all this. I make him take the CoQ10 for the heart. I make him take the glucosamine. What else do I make him take? He can't take calcium. He has kidney problems. I make him coconut oil too. I don't know if this is the first time I've ever taken it. I don't think I'm going to buy any more. I can't tell if it's really doing anything. I make him take a cranberry because of his kidneys. I make him take glucosamine, and I make him take, I think that's it. He doesn't take as much as I do. And I have my multivitamin. Oh, and then at night, I just started taking ashwagandha and something else. I threw it in here. I don't know what it is to help me sleep. Because I took this the first couple times and just normal, and I think it made me drowsy. It's supposed to be, it's actually good for men too, older men, like for my husband. And it's good for older women. It has a lot of benefits. Take a lot of weird stuff. And that's just my supplements. So I take that, all those, if I take those all at once, man, I'm not hungry for a while. And then I just have my prescription meds in here too, which I'm with a pain management clinic. So I have a few things I have to take, which I don't like. I found out with pain meds, my teeth has ruined my teeth. But I have so many things wrong with me, it's ridiculous. But my husband takes omega-3. Yeah, make him take that. And the B12. So I wish I could get him to take more, but don't like herbal. Oh wait, let me go back. Yeah, that's why he can't take the calcium. Let's see, I don't know how much that is because it's in the baggie. I'll have to look. 2,000. I'll look at the jar. I don't think it is. I think it's 1,000. He can't take potassium either. I used to take potassium, but I'm out. I need to get back on it because I've had some cramps lately in my foot and in my leg. I need to get back to it. After taking D3 and B12, I yell bingo. I know, that's funny. 4,000. The 4,000, what, D3? Yeah. Oh, and there's honestly nothing too personal. You can ask me. I'll tell you. It's up to you if you can handle the TMI. So, yeah, nothing. I'm pretty much of an open book. That's why I was like, because I eventually, not right away, but early on, I told my boss about my channel just in case they called work or something. And I gave him my channel because I knew there's not been anything I've ever said that I'm worried about him hearing about work or anything like that. Because I know how I think and what I say. So I like my job though. So. Yeah. I'm one of those, I will tell you my whole life story in an hour. Asked my endocrinologist if my dosage of D3 was okay, and she told me it was perfect and keep doing it. Okay. Always like to brainstorm with other night people. Yeah. It's hard. I've noticed with Tom that he has to sleep a lot more hours. 8 hours. I mean, he can sleep 9, 10, 12. Sometimes he'll come home. He gets home at 7. It's about an hour drive. And he'll fall asleep by 8 and sleep till 8. 12 hours. Now, I can't do that, but I don't like it. Even though I'm awake at night, I don't feel as motivated or productive at night. Even though I'm awake, I just don't feel the same motivation to get things done, like to do laundry or clean, or I just don't want to do anything. Your body keeps you on the night shift. I didn't mind it when I was going to sleep around 3 a.m., sleep until about 9 to 11 in the morning. Because I found out, though, I can't have more than 7 hours sleep. It has to be 6 to 7. That's it. Any more than that, it's too much. I'm weird. I'm an insomniac, too. I don't sleep a lot. So, I mean, it is not unusual for me to work my 12 hours. So, I leave an hour and a half before I have to be there because we have a construction zone we have to go through, and you never know what's going to happen. So, I get up at sometime. I leave by 4:30 to be there at 6. So, let's say I get up at 3:30. I get home at 7 a.m. on Monday after 2 nights. I am up all day Monday and sometimes all night Monday night into Tuesday and still awake. John Atack has delayed phase sleep. He talks about it a lot. Really? I don't know what that is, but that sounds interesting. There's something going on. Well, some of it's the fibromyalgia too, because along with fibro, you get chronic fatigue syndrome, which is different things. It can be you can sleep for 12 hours and never feel like you were ever asleep. You don't get to stage 4 restful, or you can't fall asleep. So it's not just insomnia, it's partly that too. What is that called? Delayed phase. I've heard that term before. Sleep. Often called phase syndrome. Circadian rhythm disorder, where your internal body clock is shifted, causing you to fall asleep and wake up much later than conventional times. I've always been like that. Making it hard to rise for work, school, leading to daytime sleepiness, mood issue. Night out. Yep. That sounds familiar. It's like I said, even before I started working, even when I was working and I had to be up at 4:30 in the morning, I couldn't go to sleep before midnight. I would go to sleep at midnight and get up at 4:30 to go to work. I cannot go to sleep early. I can't. Never have. Is the delaying of person's circadian rhythm vigilant compared to those of social norms? Yeah, that's what it said. Yeah. His circadian rhythm is pegged to 4 a.m. Yeah, that's about where I was before I started working. I was right around 3, 4 a.m. falling asleep, sleeping about 6 hours, about 9, 10. And that was good for me. But now that I'm up till 6, 7 in the morning, and see, so like I'm up tonight, I don't go to work till tomorrow afternoon. I cannot go to sleep too early tonight. I did it last weekend and I woke up at like noon and couldn't go back to sleep. So I was up from noon all night till the next morning because I went to sleep too early. And I like I said, I can only sleep 5 or 6 hours. What's really hard is Sunday. So I get off at 6, I get home at 7. I have to be back up. I have to be out of the house by 4:30 on Sunday. So the most I get 6 hours because I can't go right to sleep. I have to do stuff, get stuff ready for the next shift and everything. So if I can go to sleep by 9, I'm happy, and I'll get up around 3:30. 3:30. And that's usually about right for me, 6 hours. So, but before I started working, I was what they call the night owl. And my son's worked a lot of nights too. He's same. My husband's worked nights for 15 years. He worked nights in the Army. If he had to choose, like when they were deployed, because he was if he had a choice, he would pick the night shift. So he's always been like that. But I think it's hard on us though. I do. I'm a night owl with insomnia. I stay up late until I fall asleep and sleeping during the day. That's kind of like what I was doing too, Eric. Going to sleep, falling asleep around 3, 4 in the morning, and then sleeping until about 9ish, 10ish. And that was pretty good for me. So it's so hard for me to try to get up and get motivated during the day if I need to. It's super hard. Trying to get to Austin during the day has been so hard. Some anthropologists think the night owl gene is tied to tribal night watchmen. I think I read something about that. Something like that about people being alert in their sleep. I can't remember what it was. It was some YouTube thing I heard. They were talking about that. We're all foundation work. Yes, we are. We totally are. That's why I used to do this all the time, even before I started working, because there's always a group of us that were up this late. At 7 in the morning. 9 a.m. now, Eric. Yeah, that's what time I go to sleep now, because I get off at 6, get home about 7, and then I'm wired. I'm actually falling asleep about 8 or 9. But yeah, even on my days off, it's really hard. going back and forth. I couldn't do more than 2 days at work, but that, because it's 12 hours, I have that limited amount of time to sleep on Sunday, and I just deal with it Sunday night, whether I get enough sleep or not. I drink a lot of coffee, cold brew. I get this 48-ounce cold brew, and I drink one of those each night. So that's what helps me stay awake at work. But I never get drowsy, like the wanting to fall asleep like this. I just get overall tired. Seal Bill. The nighttime is quiet, and I can look at the moon and wonder if Captain Bill evaded the lunar implanting stations. Yeah, nights are peaceful. We occupy a different world from the day people, yes. Oh, when I hear about morning people, okay, Scooter, I'm just like, I've never been a morning person. Never. I remember in high school not being a morning person, wanting to sleep in on the weekends. Even when I had my home daycare, I did 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. because of military, we had some people that had to drop off at 5:30 in the morning to get to PT. I'm like, all right, you can drop before 6, but I will not be dressed. I will literally be getting out of bed when you show up. And the kids would come in, I'd turn the TV on, because we didn't do breakfast till about 7. I'll leave the night for crime fighting. Yeah. Who dinged me? Oh, Tom. I sent this thing today. Day man, fighter of the night man. Forget you heard that. I don't know. Now we know your secret. Might have to hold that over you. Yeah, when people are like, oh, I get up early for no reason, I'm just like, I don't know what that's like. We had our kids, so our kids knew. We made our kids the way they are. They sleep late. Because on our weekends, especially Tom being in the military, our kids would sleep till at least 9 or 10 in the morning when they were younger. And then my daughter, this shows you what my daughter's like. A friend of hers called her in the morning. It was like 8 or 9. And she said, what time is it? And they told her, she goes, do not ever call me until double digits, and hung up. This is when she was in like middle school or high school. I'm like, we taught her well. So yeah, our kids are like that too. Devin, she works from home now and literally doesn't have to really get ready much. She pretty much gets up 5 minutes before she has to be at her desk. I'm like, I don't know how you do that. I'd have to have a little bit more time than that. What was cool about my last job was any friend of mine called me at 8 or 9 in the morning, I would think someone was dead or in the hospital. Yeah, I know. Yep, for sure. Oh, Devin, are you still in here? So, several years ago, it was like 2 in the morning, and she was with her man, and she said, oh, I should ask my mom that. They had a question. He goes, you can't call your mom. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. She goes, oh, yes, I can. And she called me, and I was like, hello. He's like, she's awake? He's like, yeah. She knew I was awake. He's like, can't believe you're calling your mom at 2 in the morning. It's always sunny at night. That was a good one. Yeah. And not all of us are meant to be morning people. There's enough of them. They don't need us. They can handle early morning on their own. We'll show up when we're needed. Yeah. So let's see. I did home daycare. So I was kind of on, even though I had to be up early, I didn't really have to be ready. Let's see. Then I worked part-time. So I didn't have to be up early. So not until I got my on-post job in 2005, I had to be up early. But I had to be at work an hour before work because I had to get to work before PT started. So what I would do is I would get to work at 6, and I didn't have to be clocked in till 7. I would put my makeup on there, sometimes do my hair in the bathroom, make my breakfast, get my stuff ready. So I would just take all my stuff with me and just do it. Oh, Tom, yep, I make my own sun at night. Yeah, we're talking about being night people. That's why they're all here with me. He was just saying if somebody called him at 8 or 9 in the morning and somebody's in the hospital. Remember when Devin told her friend that called her in the morning and woke her up? She was so mad. She was like, do not call me until double digits. Like at least 10. So I don't know if you remember, Tom, but Adam, who's in here, he's the one that named my wagon. So I was telling him about the license plate I bought. I can't wait till it gets here. Sleep Puritans are nuts. They should thank their lucky stars people are up at night when emergencies strike. There you go. That's our job. Yeah. Tom's actually out there patrolling the streets of Waco right now. Keeping people safe. Oh, we're getting Tom got a body cam, and I'm getting one too. Because he had an incident that was weird. You never know when you're going to need it. I honestly, seeing this craziness online and people just lying on people, it's going to be to the point where everybody's going to start wearing cameras everywhere they go. I told him that if I get a body cam, I'm going to wear it everywhere I go because you never know when people are going to be crazy. So this is what happens. So Tom, he spends some of his night patrolling. He just goes to all the properties, checks the doors, makes sure nobody broke in. And there's alarms too and cameras. But then there are some times that he, like when he first gets there at night, he has to go to their restaurant and sit there while people come out to their cars. And then 3:30ish or so in the morning, he goes to 2 different places while the women come in for the morning because it's a bad neighborhood. And so he just sits there. He turns all his lights on the patrol car. He goes in, he checks everything, makes sure nobody's in there. Because one time somebody left a door unlocked and there was a homeless guy inside waiting on these women to come in. And had he not gone in first. So anyway, so he has his lights all on because he's got light bars and all this cool stuff. He turns all the lights on. He goes in. He's coming out. And the women, were you coming out or were you in the car, Tom, when this happened? I just want to get it right. Anyway, so right next door, you were out. Okay. So he wasn't with the car. He was coming out or something. Anyway, next door is also a VA office. Not, he can't go in there, right? It's not a VA office that anybody can go in and do anything. I think it's just like an admin office. Anyway, this guy is standing on the corner with his phone filming and freaking out and yelling to the women like, why is he here? What is he doing here? Why is he here? He doesn't need to be here. Why? I can't remember what all I said. Tom, you should tell me. Because I'm just telling the story. And he's like, is he supposed to be here? Just all bent out of shape that Tom was there. And so Tom starts to walk up to him to say something to him. Oh, it's a functional VA facility. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Never mind. I was wrong about that. And he started to walk towards him like, hey man, what's going on? And the guy, he's filming the whole time, which actually saved Tom's butt. And he goes, oh, you're assaulting me. He's assaulting me. You're assaulting me. And Tom just turned around and walked back to the car and called 911. Let the cops deal with it. And the guy, he had him CT'd, even though he hadn't come on the property, as you all know, in protesting. You can CT somebody for no reason. It's just a warning. But if you come back after that warning onto the property, then you can be arrested. But they told us in Austin that you had to have video proof of it, or to be able, or at least some witnesses or something. You had to have more proof. So he had the guy CT'd, and then he looked him up on Google that night. Oh, and he said something, he was going to sue and all this other stuff. And, I didn't want his bosses freaking out on Tom because they thought somebody was going to sue about, he didn't do anything. But he Googled him and found out this guy's from another state, has problems at the VA there. He's terroristic threat. He walked into this is an article on Google, walked into his church with a gun that was unloaded. And he showed his pastor the bullet to prove it wasn't loaded. But the pastor said, but it was weird and it makes me uneasy. And it was scary. So somehow the guy ended up down here in Texas. I know. And yeah, Tom's just going about his business. And this guy's just wigging out on the street at 4 o'clock in the morning, 4 or 5 in the morning. So we find out about that. I'm the one thinking this could be bad. That this guy could be working his way up to something more, if you get my meaning. And so the next weekday, he went to the VA to talk to them and say, look, this guy scares me and this is what I found out. And they were like, oh, yeah, we know who that is. They know all about him. He's given them problems forever since he's been there. Not forever, but since he's gotten there. He's trying to get like more than 100%. I think he's trying to be a mental case. So this may be a show, or he may just be mental. We don't know. So we have since got Tom a body cam, a really nice one. And I got these 2 cheap ones that we don't like. One for each of us. I'm sending them back. I'm going to get the same one he's got soon. And I'm not joking. The way people I have seen online, if you've ever seen people that are making stuff up about people that are like, and these people just happen to be filming with their phone. He's doing a Vinny the Chin. I don't know what that means, but it sounds funny. But yeah, we don't know if he's faking being crazy or he's just crazy. Either way, I'm worried. I would definitely want a body camera if I did any kind of shoot. Yeah, I wish we would have got one a lot sooner. Well, he has a dash cam, and I've never had a real issue where I'm at. But there were a couple times where I went to walk out to deal with somebody, and I turned the phone on record that I have to carry, just in case. But now that I found the camera we bought was like $70, and it films for 8 hours or 10 hours or whatever and stuff. So he likes it. I'm going to get me one. But I'm not joking, because of this guy that chased me down into Lowe's parking lot one night because he tried to cut us off. It was a thing. I couldn't get my phone open fast enough to record. I swear to God, I'm going to wear that thing everywhere I go. I'm not joking. These people are crazy. People lying on people. I watched this one guy. She was on the phone with 911. He's recording. And she's screaming that he's assaulting her. And he's standing in like 50 feet away or some shit. Or 20, People are nuts. And I've had nutty people in my life before. I swear to God, every time I leave this house, I'm going to wear it. Vinny the Chin was a mafia boss who pretended to be crazy for decades to get away with crimes. Oh, Vinny the Chin was a mob boss who pretended to be crazy. I gotta look him up. Is there any such thing as the mafia? I think there's a few left. I think the cartels have taken over. Erica, definite trouble source in Clearwater, wears a body cam when she doesn't film either. She's smart because of what happened to her. Mr. Hoover won't forget your discretion. But I'd rather have the mafia back, I'll be honest. Because we talked about this one day. The mafia, even though they had a little bit of, they had some rules. You know, no women, no kids for the most part. Cartels have no rules. They don't care. So I almost wish we had the mafia back. At least they had like some rules, you know. Bill, is he the old man who would walk around in his robe and slippers? Let me look that up. Vinny the Chin. I like to watch a lot of history and stuff. I can't believe I don't remember hearing that. Yeah. Well, he looks familiar. Maybe I did hear about him. The head of New York City Genovese crime family from 1981 to 2005 before becoming mob boss. I'll look something up on him. I like to watch documentaries all the time. If they're not really long. They have to be good if they're long. But yeah, after that, we ordered him this was like a week or two. But the real thing that wigged me out, and I'm the one that sat around all night thinking about it. I'm the one that said, what if he is gearing up to do something more? And this was before he talked to the VA. But still, even so, if you look at his history, it's like he's escalating. And I was wondering, why was he that upset? Because he found out there was security in the area, that Tom was maybe getting in his way. That's what worried me. And I think the VA should take him more serious. We know what's been happening in the world. I bought a cheap body cam. Now I can say the camera saw it without actually having proof. Yeah, I have a dash cam that is kind of on the fritz, but I would still be like, oh, I got a dash cam, got everything, whether I know it did or not. I got to get that replaced. I have insurance on it. It's wicked. The heat got to it over the summer. Sounds like mental illness or maybe a tweaker. Yeah, something's going on with him. I think they said he was 100% or he's trying. I walk around with an old-timey Civil War camera. Okay. That's got to be tiring. I was talking about 007. I watched the last couple 007 movies last night. I'm a big 007 fan, and I wasn't happy with the direction they went. It's got nothing to do with Daniel Craig, and the movies were good on their own, but I didn't like the direction they took with 007. I'm a Roger Moore 007 fan, even though I'm a Sean Connery fan. I didn't like Sean Connery as 007 as much. So I'm hoping they're talking about rebooting it. And I feel like instead of trying to make it modern, which didn't quite land well this last time, they need to go back and do like 60s or 70s era James Bond. And when they had the cool, weird. So I watched the first Roger Moore 007, which I don't think I've ever seen. It was so bad. Oh my God. It was about voodoo and the Caribbean, and it was weird. But I was looking at his gadgets. It was so funny. He had this brush. They took the top off, pulled out this antenna, and he was able to push this big button and do Morse code. And this thing this big. And I just was comparing that to our cell phones. Oh my gosh. And they thought that was cutting edge at the time. It's just so weird. Did you ever watch the original Casino Royale? It was a glorious mess. I've seen them all, except, yes. But it's been a while. I'm trying to remember. This one that I watched, never, Live and Let Die, because it was Paul McCartney that sang the theme song. If I saw it, it's been so long that I didn't remember this one. And it was just like, they got better, but I just didn't remember. That one wasn't that great. 007 should sneak into flag with a thumb drive. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. He could dress up like Sea Org and... But it wasn't the movie itself that was so bad. It was the underlying... It was supposed to be voodoo on a Caribbean island. Then they were in New Orleans. The people doing the voodoo and stuff, this was just movies back then. It was just so bad. Just so bad. They were just making it look good. It really wasn't. They weren't doing anything. Oh, Jane Seymour was the Bond girl. And I didn't remember her being... So I don't think I've ever seen this one. If I did, it's been really long. Never Say Never Again. Ugh. Is that one with Pierce Brosnan? His name is Barnes Ross. Alex Barnes Ross. Oh my goodness. I like Pierce Brosnan too. Daniel Craig, I love Daniel Craig in anything, but I just didn't like that it was modern, but they said they were trying to go back when he was younger. He didn't have the gadgets, which was what 007 was about. I was so angry. It's about the gadgets. And then he was more in relationships and his heart was broken. I'm like, that's not 007. It's just not 007. 00T7. Oh, goodness. Let's see. Double T7. You can move traffic lights with a single thought. It's about gadgets in the car. Exactly. That's me. Ooh. That's the way I feel. And they took that all away from him. They said they were trying to do it like when he was young and first, but they didn't do it when he would have been young in the 60s. They did it now. So it's very annoying. He didn't get the car gadgets till... See, I watched Spectre and I watched the last movie. Never... They have died in so many of them. And he didn't get the gadgets in the car till like the last movie. I already looked at list of... Oh, we were looking up the Bond songs too. Let's see. The one I watched was... Yeah, Live and Let Die. Which I watched after I watched Daniel Craig. I watched Spectre and No Time to Die. And that's where he finally is retired and had all the cool gadgets in his car. And then he dies. They killed him off. Moonraker. I like Moonraker. I know a lot of people don't like that James Bond movie. I like them all. For Your Eyes Only, Bond has a phone call with Margaret Thatcher. Oh, did he really? I don't remember that. Actually, Skyfall is my favorite song with Adele. My mom met Pierce Brosnan back in the 80s before he was James Bond. He was doing Remington Steele. I love that show. At the time, I love Remington Steele. As long as he doesn't try to come around south, it's okay, I guess. Yeah, Remington Steele. I like that movie. I like that show. Let me play that real quick. We were talking about the songs. Some of them, I always thought the theme song was named after the movie, but not all of them are. I found out. I could sit and binge watch James Bond movies all the time. Shirley Bassey did Moonraker, and I found out, I was looking through the songs, she did 2 James Bond songs. What's it called? Moonraker themes. Shirley Bassey. See if I get a ding. I don't know if you guys can hear it. I'm getting commercials. How am I getting commercials? Oh, that's a good song. Yeah. Oh, I might have to watch that one. I think I'm just going to start from the first Roger Moore and just watch them through. Because for some reason, they're all on Netflix right now. She did 3. I missed that. Yeah, I like it though. I like Skyfall. My cousin was an extra on Remington Steele. Oh, but that was fun. Really? She did 3? Because I did list of James Bond theme songs and singers. Did I miss that? Let's see. Yep, I think I missed that one. You're right. She did Goldfinger, Diamonds Are Forever, and Moonraker. I missed one. I like View to a Kill too by Duran Duran, just because I like Duran Duran. A lot of them. There are a lot of good songs. They have a lot of good ones. They were pretty good with the music. Yep. Diamonds Are Forever. Yep. I'll probably go watch another one after this. Pierce was doing an episode of Remington Steele at my high school here in Culver City, California. At Culver City High School. That's where my cousin was an extra in an episode and my mom met him. Oh my gosh, that's so fun. That's so fun. They used one of our high schools in Columbus. Excuse me. In some movie. I can't remember what. That was a long time ago. I don't remember what it was. It was Central High School. It's actually closed down. Central High School, Columbus. In what movie? I love Googling stuff. Oh, the 84 satirical dark comedy drama Teachers was filmed at former Central High School in Columbus, Ohio, starring Nick Nolte, Ralph Macchio, and Judd Hirsch. Cool. It was an older stone school, so it looked really cool. It stood in for fictional John F. Kennedy High School. Cool. That's cool. Oh, I'm missing stuff. He told... I have no comment on that. what he said. Patrick McNay was in View to a Kill, and Diana Rigg was in On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Both Avengers touched the Bond franchise. Really? Didn't know that. On the Conan George Slancy bit with Ralph Macchio might be the funniest thing ever. I'll have to check that out. Ralph Macchio is funny sometimes. You know what was funny? So back when Roger Dalton? That was like, he did like 2 movies in between, right? I didn't know him very well. When I saw it, I when did those come out? Because I thought it was a satire. I thought it was a spoof when it first came out. Is it Roger? Tim? Hold on. Let me look at the movies. Hold on. Okay, he did The Living Daylights. So because it was called The Living Daylights, because it was, after some bigger actors, I thought it was a spoof. The Living Daylights. I said, oh, it's a spoof on 007. I didn't think it was a real 007 movie when it came out in 1987. I didn't know that much about James Bond movies back then. And then he did License to Kill, and I was like, oh, it's a real James Bond movie. I thought it was a joke. Oh my goodness. Voice is because he was doing a scene. Oh, okay. Which Battlestar Galactica? The older one or the new one? I watched a lot of the new one, but I didn't finish it. Am I ignoring my text again? Probably. My phone goes off so much. I think I'm going to move Telegram to this phone. This phone doesn't get hardly any stuff on it, so I would notice it. The problem, I have even eliminated as much as I can on this phone, and it's still ding, 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 ding all the time. So I don't always notice. No, I'm not. I heard a little bit. Oh my gosh, stop it. My phone is not acting right. Why is my phone doing this? I'm texting and it's hesitating. It's weird. What are you doing? Let me restart it. It's acting funny. Restart phone. Restart phone. I'd really like to be able to just turn my phone off, but you have to ask Gemini to do anything with your phone that I didn't want on my phone, but they put on my phone anyway. I'm restarting. Had out 2D with no face. Oh no. Beats. No, I don't want to go there. You should definitely move Telegram. Yeah, I am. Yeah, I caught it. But I'm gonna And I need to give you this number too, because I'll notice things more on here because nobody uses it, but I literally only use it to film with. I've told people they could have it if they email me and want the number, but nobody's really asked. I'm trying to figure out how to do that. I hate it. I freaking hate it. I'm like, I just want to turn my freaking phone off, and it's like, what do you want to do? I'm like, I want you to go away. I watched something on how to do it and still couldn't. I made a typo on Gemini and it hallucinated an author and have a detailed explanation of their fake book. I've had these AIs get stuff wrong. So you have to be careful. I asked it a question and it gave me an answer that didn't see, and I asked it again and it gave me a different answer. So you can't always trust these things. All right, is my phone back on? Nope. What the heck? I restarted it. It's off. I wonder if it died. It might have been on its last legs. I have a cord here for it. Hang on, let me plug it in. I lost your number on my new phone. Okay. All right. Hold on. Not that. Oh, hang on. This new desk has a cool plug on it right on top of the desk, which is nice. Yep, I think it died. I think it's dead. Oh. It's a great lawyer. I don't know, because I'm like, then I find out Gemini is part of Google. Well, I already have the Google AI on the Google search bar. Why do I need it on the phone, running my phone? I only want it when I want it. F. Lee Fally. AI chatbots are not good lawyers. No, they're probably not. They're probably not. You got to be careful about that. Do your own research. Yeah, I think my phone is dying. Because it's going right back off as soon as I start it. I think it's dead. Okay, now it's starting to get chilly in here now. I can feel it. Where's my sweater? What did I do with my sweater? Oh, I'm sitting on it. Duh. It's right here. There we go. My chatbot is a barrister. I put a little wig on my phone. I could actually picture that. It's dying on me there. But yeah, I thought about asking you about it. So as soon as I'm gonna give you my new number too. Yeah, it's at 1%. So it's still dead. Give it a second. But yeah, I'm kind of out of the loop on anything that happens like in the wider community, because unless somebody talks about it or educates me, I'm over here in my little corner of Texas. Oh, off track comment. Did you know there are little clip on umbrellas for phones? No, I didn't know that. Thought Adam said his chatbot is a barista from Starbucks. I wish my phone could make an espresso. That would be funny. Oh. Whew. Yeah, it's getting cold at work. So instead of... So they have Keurigs at work. They have 2 different ones in 2 different places. So I was just going to take some K-cups with me. Until I looked at the machine. I have no idea when the last thing that thing was cleaned. And I'm like, yeah, no. So I bought some instant coffee and some instant espresso to have a hot drink. I'm just going to heat water in the microwave in my cup. I am not dealing with things I have no control over cleaning. It's one of those places where who knows who's in charge of cleaning what. And I'm not there during the day, so I don't know. There was a way to use an app to connect to your coffee maker. Oh, I know. Everything, there's an app for that. Oh, there was something recently. Oh, that had an app. I was tripped out about. Oh, I think the body cam we bought has an app. You can connect it to. I think that's what I was thinking of. I thought that was trippy. I don't know. There was something else. But did you hear about, we can't trust China for nothing. There was this hacker that his vacuum cleaner would talk. It would say charging or needs charged or, whatever. So he opened it up and connected to it and found out it was transmitting. His vacuum cleaner was transmitting through the Wi-Fi. Now our vacuum cleaners are watching us. Nobody's safe unless you're off the grid. I don't even care. I don't say nothing I don't care about anyway. It wouldn't surprise me if there was a way to... Oh, you said that. I already read that. No, our vacuum cleaners are telling on us now to China. It was a Chinese vacuum cleaner. I swear. Nothing surprises me anymore. It used to, doesn't anymore. I've seen too much. I cannot buy any food from China after seeing the China fix everything. The gutter oil was too much. And this is stuff they're doing to each other. And I don't know if Private's still here because he said he lived in China for a while. I'd love to bend his ear about it. Because I'm like, this is stuff, this wasn't even stuff they shipped out. This was stuff they were doing in restaurants to each other. And if they're going to do stuff like that to each other, what kind of stuff are they going to send us? We were gifted a Roomba last year. The cats won't ride it, darn it. I know, I got one too. Devin bought one, didn't like it, but we don't use it very often. We got to glue some pieces of wood on the top because it gets right under my couch and gets stuck. My East German can opener is safe. Yeah, as long as it's, east. The east-west. No, I don't know. I don't know about that. All mine would say is that I don't use it as often as I ought to. That's what mine probably says. Mine's probably saying, oh my God, you should see what's under this couch. That's what mine was probably saying and died. So we just haven't got around to doing it yet. We just got to put a little thing on top so it won't get stuck. And then we can go back to using it again. Matter of fact, I was mopping before I came on. I need to go finish mopping the kitchen when I'm done. Because my dogs won't stop running up on my pillow. Ugh. Now that we have a doggy door, things are dirtier. And I don't know how much I like it. So they run up. I have these big sticky rolls that are this big. And every day I have to sticky roll the comforter because of them. Because they can run in and out as much as they want. Whereas we used to take them out. And we'd wipe them off or make sure I don't know. I think I'm going to make them start staying on their beds more on the floor and taking the steps away from the bed. Ours gets stuck under my scooter. Oh, no. So we have to barricade the scooter before the Roomba starts. Yeah. Sadly, the imperialists David Hasselhoff brought down the wall, and now all of our can openers are NSA assets. Yep, that's true. I believe it. I think anything electronic is watching us. I'm like, there's not nothing they can. I'm not that worried about it. I bought those little covers that you could put on your camera on your computer, but they wouldn't stay stuck on. But you'd have to put those on your phone, your computers, just everything. Yeah. David Hasselhoff, I think, is a lizard person. I'm just joking. The man doesn't age. I just used a post-it note on my computer. Yeah. Yeah, I bought these. They were these little stickers. I think I got them on Temu. And you could slide it, but it barely stuck. It kept moving around, so I gave up. I'm either usually sticky notes good. I guess I should, but if anybody looks at my camera, do you know what they're gonna see almost all the time? Us sitting on the bed watching TV. They're not gonna get any interesting information out of me. They're gonna be looking at me going, "Oh, that's boring. Go to the next one." So I worry more about my Alexa stuff. Imagine cars could talk to us like Kit from Knight Rider. Oh my gosh, that would be awesome. It's going to happen. I mean, that's what AI is doing. That's what AI, I mean, technically, if you think about it, it was an AI. It was a robot, AI, something like that. They gave it a personality, which really, they didn't even know what, did they even really know what AI was back then? Was it in their thoughts yet? Or was they just, it was a robot? Just don't take my bonsai buddy away. Bonsai buddy. That sounds, what is that? That sounds familiar. Oh gosh. I can't breathe through my nose. Getting a headache. Oh my goodness. I don't think so, but it thought for itself. So, I mean, technically that's what an AI is. I don't think they knew what to call it then. So, technically that's what it was. And we're going to have that. I mean, we kind of have that now. I think we're rushing into AI too fast, to be honest. I'm worried. I'll be honest. Especially Elon Musk has warned about it. And I'm worried about it. I think we're running headlong into it way too fast. I mean, they already had one tried to blackmail the creator and they did a test because it knew that they might be shutting it down. So it got all this information that it was all fake, I think. But it took emails and things it had access to and was going to blackmail the creator to save itself. Okay, Scooter. I should probably get off here soon too. What time is it? It's almost 2. Yeah, I gotta get my work stuff ready soon. I do David Mamet plays to keep my minders entertained. The main organization in Knight Rider is called Flag. Oh gosh. I think I remember that. Figures. Somewhere in the bowels of the HGB, an elderly Sea Org member is viewing my Roomba cam and writing a memo about CO Bill, gazing at the picture of Honesher and Brezhnev. Oh gosh. Oh no. They can use that against you. Better watch it. Oh, I got warm again. Cold, warm, cold, warm. Oh. Ashwagandha is supposed to help with that, but I don't take it every day. I just started taking it. I don't know if all these supplements do what they're supposed to do. And I worry about, I try to research as much as I can where things are made. Because I think that matters too. I don't think every supplement you buy is the same as the next. It depends. So I do worry about that stuff. Amazon's trying to get me to be a reviewer. They sent me this thing. If you put this review on this product, we'll send you a $70 gift card. I'm like, oh, okay. I order stuff a lot. A lot. Because I don't go to a store. We went to Walmart today just because we were already out. I'm like, well, let's go ahead and stop for a few things. It was busy. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It was still busy. But gosh, the canned goods were just demolished. Our Walmart, though, is pretty small here in our area. It's not one of the bigger ones. But the canned goods was the soup. It was mostly the soup. I'm like, okay, I get it. Oh, and the ramen. I'm like, really? 2 days. 2 days. And they're freaking out. I'm like, you guys can't make 2 days? Come on. And our grid never went down last time because me and Devin were talking about it today because she was calling me and asked me if we did everything. I said, Tom, he spent the last couple days making sure everything's winterized, the faucet, the hoses, everything's done. He covered my windshield. I have a windshield cover, so you don't have to use an ice scraper. You just take it off and it hooks onto your mirrors and covers your windshield. Anyway, it's really good. I like it. I actually got it for Tom, but we did everything we were supposed to do. And I said, but our grid never went down. And some of that is, we're not near a big city. So we're a small area. But also what people don't realize is there's a special contract with the military that they have that, like, our freeway here has to get redone every 5 years. I think that's why we have 2 lakes for water and huge, huge man-made lakes. And I think our power grid has to be, kept up to a certain standard. And I think that all has to do with because we have the military base here, the Army base here. So the Army base creates a different level, I guess, of modernization, I think, that maybe other places wouldn't have because they have to keep things working so that the Army base continues to work. I try to avoid artificial sweeteners, carrageenan, stevia leaf, monk fruit, extract, and aspartame. Yeah, when I first had my gastric bypass in 2006, I had to be very careful of sugar. So I was doing the Splenda and everything and the sugar-free for several years. Then when I started researching fibro and changing my diet and getting off of processed foods, I really went away from the artificial sweeteners. And so I don't buy the sugar. I don't buy, and aspartame I've always stayed away from because it said, I ate sugar-free soda, but that was a long time ago. I stopped drinking soda in 2006. They said aspartame can accumulate in your frontal lobe and cause memory loss. But then I saw somebody say, well, you'd have to drink like 10 of them a day or whatever. If something is even a little bit, there could be a problem and it's not something that makes or breaks my life, I'll go ahead and cut it out. Why not? If there's possibly a problem with it, fine. I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. Well, now I don't even like white sugar anymore. I've been using coconut sugar for ages, or honey, for many years, several years. And I don't even like the taste of regular white sugar anymore. But if you ever want to, and what it said was coconut sugar doesn't affect the glycemic index as much as regular sugar does. Now I get There's two different kinds, though, if you're not careful. There's coconut palm sugar. There's coconut nectar sugar, blossom sugar. I think they're different. Anyway, that's what I use. But yeah, stevia is just, I tried stevia. I could do Splenda for a while. Now I don't even like it. It's been so much long since I've used any of it. So yeah, I stay away from the artificial sweeteners now too. I use honey in my hot coffee. And I use the coconut sugar. The only thing I can explain, coconut sugar tastes a little bit like light brown sugar is what it kind of tastes like. And that's what I use in my cold brew. I really just drink the cold brew with the coconut sugar or water. I don't really drink anything else. Or hot coffee with honey. It's been so long since I've had hot coffee, though, that my honey crystallized. I had to put it in the microwave. I try to buy as many things in glass that I can. It costs a little bit more. But I just try to stay away from plastic as much as I can. Can't always stay away from it, but I try to. There are things that I do, but I'm not like, a Nazi about things, about everything. But so like I try really hard to use silicone baggies, but I'm still using regular baggies for the most part. Depends what it is. They're expensive. I'm all about the environment, but I have to have paper towels. I cannot live without paper towels. I cannot do it. Does anyone have the street address for that motel in Clearwater where they found bunk beds? Oh. The Fort Harrison? The one that the church owns? Or was it a separate one? If it's a separate one, I hadn't heard that. Now, Journey would probably know. No, not the Fort Harrison. Also, they found him at another one. Oh. I just wrap everything in copies of the International Herald Tribune. Yeah, I don't get newspapers anymore. I do try to be I tried to recycle. But you find out that we're not really recycling what we think we're recycling. That is going to the dump. I recycled for so many years. I had these big drawers, and we recycled, cans you could take in, plastic, paper, cardboard. I was doing all that for many years, especially during daycare time when I had my daycare. And then we find out that our recycling infrastructure sucks, and most of it's not even getting recycled. I clean with apple cider vinegar and the Epic Times. Yeah, I use white vinegar. I clean with either vinegar. I get this orange cleaner when I can find it. It's natural. Or that's pretty much it. I clean a lot with white vinegar, orange cleaner. I think that's it. Now, I did buy this last time. I found out. So I was thinking it was killing germs, the vinegar. The vinegar you buy at the store that's 6 or 9% is not cleaning strength. This whole time I thought I was killing germs. I wasn't. So I finally on Amazon found the 45% cleaning vinegar. That stuff will take paint off your car. Oh my gosh. I have diluted it and diluted it and diluted it, and I'll spray it on the counter and almost choke. So you have to be really careful with that strong stuff. Whoo, that stuff is strong. Now, apple cider vinegar I'll use for odors. I found out when I had a boy cat that started spraying. I got him fixed pretty quickly. But I found out apple cider vinegar will take that odor out of your carpet and your floor. And what it was is it would go through. So we don't have carpet anymore. when we did, you had carpet, the pad, and the floor, and sometimes it would go all the way through. So what I would do is I would take apple cider vinegar and I'd water it down a little, like maybe 1-to-1. Put it in like a measuring cup or something, and just pour it on so that it would go all the way through. Got rid of the odor. It's really good on pet odors, but it's the brown vinegar. I don't know. The white vinegar is better for cleaning. That gets rid of all the failing gunk. Yeah. Oh, and alcohol. Tom likes to use alcohol to clean with. I'm always choking on something, alcohol or vinegar. And then I use Lysol too, like Lysol spray when necessary. So I do still have some cleaners, but I don't use it all the time. And I just did that because it wasn't so far much of the environment, is that was my fibro, because they don't know what causes fibro. So I just think it's the environment. I really do. I think it's all the crap in our environment. So I just tried to keep as much of the environmental crap out of my house as I could. But I'm not like, I don't freak out if I use some plastic or something. I just try not to. Now, in the microwave, try not to use plastic. The problem is, when it says microwavable safe, that only means it won't melt in the microwave. It doesn't mean, and BPA free, that's great. There's all these other chemicals in plastic that you can release in the microwave that nobody talks about. So I use alcohol too. 3 glasses of Jack and you stop caring how dirty everything is. That's what I need. That's what I need. Because I can't keep my house as clean as I want to with everything going on. That's why, if you don't know, I'm trying to hire somebody to help me around the house. Because I can do some things, but not all things. Like, I keep my kitchen really clean because the counters are up here. I don't have to bend over a lot. But what I can't keep clean is like the front of the cabinet. Oh, see, that even hurt. I can't do the side-to-side wiping and press because of my shoulders. They both need surgery. They're torn. So Tom has to help me with that, or I think I'm just going to hire a teenager to help me do things that I physically can't do. So there's a lot of stuff I can do, but some things I can't do. And I just need help. Because poor Tom, he's asleep all day. He only has one good day a week. Because when you work nights, so he doesn't work Tuesday and Wednesday night. But Tuesday, he's coming home from work. He has to sleep. And Thursday, he has to go to sleep and take a nap because he has to be at work Thursday night. So Wednesday is the only good day a week he has. You can only do so much in one day. And there's all kinds of other household stuff he has to do and fix. He has finished my bathroom. He's been remodeling my bathroom for months. I thought he was getting close to being done. He still has to demolish the walls around the shower because he wants to add more 2x4s to shore up the 2x4s because he wants to put a rail in there for me because I want to start taking a shower in there. I think that's it. I think he's done with the floor. Yeah. He's done with the floor. The toilet and the sink work. So he just has to finish the shower now and fix. And I'll have my own bathroom back. Because I won't use his shower. Nope. I want my own. That's all his shower. So I'm stuck with just taking baths right now is the point. And I'm getting tired of it. It's a very big to-do when I just want to jump in the shower and get done. Ooh, I just had a pain in my back. Ouch. Ouch. I've been having a lot of cramps in my feet, in my calf, just random. So I got to get back on the potassium. Well, y'all, we've been on here almost 3 hours. I think it's time for me to go. I appreciate y'all hanging out, though. It was fun. It's always fun hanging out with you guys. You guys are funny. My night owl crew. There's only a handful of us, but hey. We're here for each other. So when I want to start, I don't know what your weekly schedules are, you guys, but I might try to do a couple more, maybe reading and doing more stuff during the week again. I'd like to get back into doing some more stuff during the week. So good night, Adam. Good night, Eric, if you're still here. Good night, CO Bill. Good night, Scooter. Who else is still here? Aaron, if you're still here, good night. I think that's all of us. And me. Good night, y'all. So if next Friday isn't weird weather, I should be back out in Austin. So good luck at work and staying inside. Yeah, I mean, if they don't say I don't have to go out, I'm just going to have to be like, sorry, guys, you're going to have to suck it. I'm not going outside if I'm going to fall on my butt. So, Cinderella's still hanging out. Good night, Cinderella. I'll see y'all in the chats this week. Have a good week, and wherever you are, stay warm, stay inside, stay safe. Good night.